Congratulations! If you are watching this video, it is because you are engaging with a health coach and you're taking health to a higher level right now. And I'm just so excited for you. I know that you've received your box and you've got your fuelings and you have your books, and there's just going to be a lot of learning going on over the next little while. But this video is about really preparing you for your journey. And there's a couple of things that I want to go over. I'm going to address the lean and green because I know there's going to be a lot of questions about that. And I also want to address how and when to measure yourself. And also we're going to address how you're going to be coached over the next little while. And your coach will talk with you about that as we go along. One of the books that you received, you got your Large Habits of Health and your workbook, Living a Longer, Healthier Life, but you also received this OPTAvia guide. So right now, I want you to pull that out and take a look on page, I should know right off the top of my head, 18, 19, 20, and 20, those 3 pages. Those 3 pages are really going to detail out what the lean and green is, but I'm kind of going to go over it with you right now. It's kind of nice to have someone walk you through it, and that's what this video is about. So when you're choosing your lean protein, the way you're going to be eating, when you first wake up in the morning, you want to eat a fueling within an hour of waking up. Don't go longer than an hour. If you're going on a walk, or if you have some things to do in the morning, it doesn't matter. When you wake up and eat a fueling. And then you're going to start keeping track. You want to make sure you eat within 3 hours thereafter, every 2.5 to 3 hours. So don't go longer than 3 hours. That's like a big no-no. Keep your meals close together. And I usually say you want to space them out. So kind of look at your day, space them out accordingly. So if you slept in or whatever, you may need to squeeze your meals closer together. If you have a longer period of time, you just need to spread them out properly. Never longer than 3 hours. And so if you end up being awake longer than that, talk to your coach about what you can do. But your lean and green is the meal that you're going to be doing on your own. And for some of you, it'll be 1 lean and green per day. For others, it'll be 2 lean and greens per day. So you need to be very clear on what your own program is. But the lean and green consists of 1 portion of protein. You're going to have some proteins in what we call a lean, and you're going to have some greens, some vegetables, what we call the green portion of your meal. So I'm going to go over lean. So that's on page 18. There's 3 levels of lean that we categorize. We call them lean, leaner, or leanest. And it depends on what you choose, how much you can have. So let's say you choose something from the leanest category. Let's say you're having some fish. You might be having some cod, some orange roughy, maybe tilapia. If you choose something from that portion, you need to have a full 7 ounces of that cooked meat. This is a cooked weight. So 7 ounces for the leanest. And then you also, because you are choosing the leanest type of protein, you need to also include 2 healthy fats into your day. And so those healthy fats are listed at the bottom of page 18. Those are some ideas. There's actually many, many more healthy fats that you could choose. But that's a good start. You can take a look at those things like flaxseed oil, canola oil, walnut oil, just depending on what your tastes are and what your preferences are. One thing that's listed that I just want you to cross off, and they are hopefully going to be removing it soon, and that is the 1 teaspoon of trans fat-free margarine. You shouldn't be eating margarine. That's actually not a healthy fat. So if you could just cross that out. And if you need, you can utilize butter in its place. But you want to stick with really what that program sets forth. So the leanest, you're going to have 7 cooked ounces plus 2 healthy fats. If you're doing leaner, those are the medium level lean, you'll do 6 ounces of that cooked protein and 1 healthy fat. And then if you choose something from the lean category, which might be like lamb, pork chops, salmon is actually in that category because it's a little fattier fish. That one, you're going to have a 5-ounce serving of that lean protein, and then you'll have 0 healthy fats added to your day. So that just gives you a layout, and it's actually very simple. And the list you're given here in the book, that's actually obviously not comprehensive. And if you're a vegetarian, there is a meatless options list. And so please connect with your coach. Probably you actually already received it in an email entitled Lean and Green Ideas. At the bottom of that email, lots of meatless options. Then I'm going to go to the greens. So these are your greens, your vegetables. These are also categorized into lower, moderate, and higher carbohydrate groups. But you really don't have to change the quantity you eat based on that. In fact, you could have all your vegetables from the high carbohydrate group if you want. You can choose anything you'd like. There's no differentiating. The reason we categorize them is because it is helpful later down the road. If we want to kind of adjust your program, we can kind of say, why don't you choose from this category for a period of time, or vice versa. So the amount of vegetables you should have with your lean and green meal is 3 full servings of vegetables, which means half a cup of vegetables is 1 serving. So that would mean you'd need 1.5 cups of vegetables. Or depending on the vegetable. So there are some leafy vegetables. In fact, any vegetable that's leafy, green, spinach, kale, romaine lettuce, you name it, 1 full cup equals a serving. So you can always think to yourself, half a cup is a serving, except if it's leafy. If it's fluffy, then a full cup equals a serving. And so to have a full lean and green meal, you're going to have 5 to 7 ounces of protein, and then you're going to have your veggies, which would be 1.5 cups to 3 cups of vegetables. So that's a pretty robust meal. You're going to find that it's actually very filling and exciting, especially when you get to try out some of these really yummy recipes. Or you can do the simple options. Couple things to stay away from, just to keep your eyes open. There are some vegetables that are off the list. And of course, this list is not totally comprehensive, but this is a start. It's sort of like a quick start guide. It gets you going in the right direction. And you can access that with your coach. But the vegetables that are completely no off the list are carrots, peas, potatoes, carrots, peas, potatoes. I should remember all of them right now. Beets, peas and carrots. Corn. Corn is the other. Having a hard time here. So peas, carrots, corn, potatoes. Those are like not at all. And then 2 that you might not think of are beets and Brussels sprouts. So those are also off the list. And just to realize, refried beans, black beans, kidney beans, those are also not going to be on the fat burning 5-in-1 or 4-in-2 plan. When we're talking about a lean and green, and this is a terminology thing, when we say lean and green, we mean the 5 to 7 ounces portion of lean protein, and then 3 servings of green vegetables, which do not include those starchy vegetables. And that doesn't mean you don't get them, but you will eventually get them. But right now we're in a different phase. The other things that are off the eating list are milk and fruit for a period of time, because we're really interested in getting you into a fat burn where your body, basically you're healing your metabolism. You're putting your body back where it actually will burn the fat on your body. So that's really exciting. And that usually happens by about day 4. So how to measure yourself. There's a lot of different ways to measure what's happening with your body. And I really encourage you to have a starting picture and a beginning reality of where you're starting. And so number 1, I always say, take a before picture. Take a before picture. I can't tell you how many people have gone along their program. They lost 40 pounds and they're so excited. And I said, now let's compare your before and after. This will be exciting. And they're like, oh, I didn't take a before. Take a before picture. Nobody has to see it. It's just on your phone. You can even download it to your computer and hide it away in a file. I don't care, but keep it so that you have it. So down the line, you can do a nice before and after comparison for yourself. So you've got your before picture. Then there's measurements. So get out the old measuring tape, measure your chest, your hips, your waist, your arms, your thighs. Write those measurements down and give them to your coach. That'll be a great starting point. And then your starting weight is important to know. And actually, you're going to be texting your coach your starting weight for the first 4 days on program. Why? Because that's one of those measurements that the coach can watch and see if you're getting into a good fat burn, if you're on a fat burning plan. Now, if you're not on a fat burning plan, then you may be doing something a little different with your coach. So don't worry about that. But I call it your dehydrated weight. It's when you wake up in the morning, you go to the bathroom, but you haven't had any intake. You haven't had any water. You haven't had any food yet. Weigh yourself. That's a really, really great scientific time of day because it's just pretty much you're as dry as can be. And you stand, weigh yourself, and then guzzle that water because you're going to need 80 ounces a day and maybe more. 80 to 100 depending on your weight and where you are, and please connect with your coach on that. And then for the next little while, your coach is going to be touching base with you. You're going to be chatting in the evening each day. And they're going to be sharing some information with you daily. So for this first week, expect to be talking with your coach every day for the first 4 days. And then at 1 week, I get to meet you on a Zoom. I'm so excited. We can have a conversation about why you started on your path. And that's going to be a very essential part of your motivation throughout this program and this process is really getting clear on your why. And if your coach hasn't encouraged you to do this yet, I would encourage you to do it. And that is to take out a pen and paper, old-fashioned style, write down the reasons why you care. Why do you want to lose your weight? Why do you want to have more energy? Why do you want to avoid diabetes? You know, you may have reasons. Dig a little deeper and write the reasons why. What's that going to feel like? What's it going to look like? Write it down and then put it up on your bathroom mirror or put it on your refrigerator. Put it somewhere where you're going to see it all the time, because that's the kind of thing that matters in your life. Whatever matters to you is what matters to your coach. So that is what to expect. And we will be Zooming. If you don't know what a Zoom is, it's a video conference call, and we're going to be doing that at 1 week. And then your coach will be checking in with you twice a week after that. And then at the 1 month mark again, we're going to Zoom again and have a great video conference. And so please link in, start reading your habits of health, and I'm excited to meet you.